I wanted to quickly let you know that simple slopes can be plotted in Excel. And online, I found some resources several years back. I think I was using some of these in graduate school. And so it's another option in case you don't want to do things in R. Some people love R for graphing, but it can get a little bit complicated. I find that Excel provides the basic version of everything we need. And for most publishing purposes and presentation purposes, Excel for simple slopes works great. So I want to show you a quick example of a binary moderator in Excel with our example we just worked through, the tenure and untenured. So let's open up these documents and I'll quickly show you how I did this. So these Excel templates are available on SharePoint. In one of the folders for supplementary materials, for plotting simple slopes, I think is the folder. And I filled in these numbers already, but these fields are empty in the template version, and you simply fill in the different pieces of information from the output, and that I included in this Word document with the tenure file, the coefficients. I used the uncentered version. So for plotting, I just find this easier. It's something that is your personal preference, whether you want to plot the uncentered or the centered. But I find the centered or uncentered is nice for plotting. And these I haven't made pretty. The R output just doesn't come out beautiful. Pardon me. These screencasts are taking a toll on my voice, so I'm not sick at all, but it sounds like I am. So first, run the OLS regression on the uncentered data, and I stuck the output here. These estimates are going to be important for plotting, and then the mean and standard deviation of the IV are necessary for plotting and to plug in to the fields here in Excel. So there's a mean and standard deviation of performance. Substitute all the values into their proper place in this spreadsheet. I'm going to put the screencast link here when I'm finished with this. And so when you stick in all the appropriate numbers, sometimes the lines, the simple slopes, do not appear in the window. So right here, they are visible because I fixed this y-axis. So if you've worked with Excel before, this is no surprise, but sometimes you have to adjust your y-axis to make sure the data is within the pane of visibility, basically the window. Let me put this down here so you can see performance on the x-axis, salary increase on the y-axis. This is very similar to what we saw before. Remember, the untenured has a less steep slope than the tenured group. And that is what's showing up here as well. So the results are the same graphically as what we did in R. It's exactly the same. This is just a simpler way to obtain this graph for some of you. Again, some of you may prefer the R way and subbing in your own variables into that code, but I just want to provide another option for you. So back to this y-axis, in order to format this so that the lines are visible, sometimes you have to do a left click on this axis and then a right click and say Format Axis. And this pane will come up. And what you need to do is the min and max, you need to adjust those so that the data is within the proper range. And so I did the range command on the salary, and it goes from like 10 or 12, I don't remember the low end, to about 2,700 or something. I don't remember, but 3,000. So 10 to 3,000 should be a good range for this y-axis in order to see all of the data. And so you need to understand the range of your, outcome, whatever it is, and then adjust this axis accordingly. So I think that's actually the hardest part of all of this. The other parts, entering your data into the fields and the labels for the x and y axis and your moderator. This is in the binary case, so indicate for the audience what your tenured is 0, untenured ones so that they know. And then this I've used actually for publications in the past, for presentations, very useful for simple slopes plotting. So just another option for you as you're finding like the best way or determining the best way to visualize the data for your audience. And sometimes it makes sense and people enjoy making really fancy graphs, and other times very simple graphs do just as well.